All right, okay. Dear all, good day. Today, after a span of time, we are in continuation with the show, which we had started promulgation of it perhaps few months ago. And as you all know, my our viewers, that we are very selective in basically when we bring the guests to our podium, most of them are mainly from the maritime fraternity and or associated with them. So today on Captain Puneet Malhotra's show, a rendezvous with an entrepreneur facilitating the mariner's cause relentlessly, none other than Captain Gaurav Rana and his team, which includes Ms. Shruti Arora and Ms. Ria Shetty. Uh, Captain Gaurav, Ria, and Shruti, welcome on board. Thank you for taking some time off and coming on our show, and we welcome you. And initially, we will talk about your little introduction, and then we will go with the Q&A session. So, Captain Gaurav, welcome. Thank you. Miss Ria, welcome, and Miss Shruti, welcome. Thank you for
Thanks for
coming on
having
board.
us here,
Thank you.
sir. It's a great job that you are doing, and more than happy to be of any help to support you and have the information spread in our maritime community.
Thank you, Captain Gaurav. Thank you. So, as we speak, it's been a vast like a list. If we talk about Captain Gaurav Rana, he basically has, had started his brainchild, the company named Sea and Beyond, and as what we speak in, and as what we see in maritime media or fraternity, lots of other magazines, they are doing fantastic amount of job to basically, facilitate the mariners from the perspective of bringing them on board, especially most of us when we are planning to quit sea or coming ashore, they are being a key to success to basically not only guiding that what all opportunities are there for a mariner or to streamline them, and with the lots of perseverance they have been doing fantastic job. So not to lose much time, so Captain Gaurav Rana has been a proprietor or owner of the company what he had floated in way back in 2015, C and Beyond. Since July 2015 onwards, he had been you know uh, pulling with the tugs of war to basically bring his brainchild to some mark globally, where it has got now lots of recognition as we speak. Now when we talk about the accolades and achievements, he's been pioneered into conducting webinars and facilitating of uniting of mariners, where he actually had started way back. And if I recall it correctly, I also had been invited at his podium at some perhaps few years ago, and that's how I know that he really had been a pioneer, and you has been walking the talk for quite some time. Now, in liaison with foreign universities, that is C and Beyond, the company, owned by Captain Gaurav Rana, has been very actively participating in the promotion with the value-added courses and agenda of global management and training program for multinational uh, crew and the shipping companies, where they are working basically to facilitate all the companies multinationally on the global front. Furthermore, as we speak, he has already built up a team, and it's been there with him for quite some time. We have Miss Ria Shetty, who, about her little intro, we'll talk about that she has been for a decade. She has a work experience in the shipping industry, which includes end-to-end sourcing and operations, administration, and introduction process for all new hires on board and the vessel uh, for the vessel as well. And she ensures recruit to comply with all the maritime regulations, overseeing the and hiring of the maritime personnel from rating to the senior management mariners. It was also like challenging for her during the transition from working into a ship management to ownership company. Of course, we'll talk about the challenges what she had been facing. And our third guest on this platform today is Miss Shruti Arora. Shruti has come, after she graduated her MBA in HR, she has worked for almost 6 to 7 odd years, and both in maritime and non-maritime industries. Initially, she had lots of, challenges. Maybe she was a bit skeptical, as we speak, to basically, choose the right path. And I believe with the guidance and mentorship of Captain Gaurav Rana, probably she has tried to make the mark or try to achieve or try to make the ends meet whatever she wanted, whatever her goals were. I believe so. And thereafter, she started, with the consultancy. That is when she came into the under the roof of Captain Gaurav Rana, and that's how she started graduating. And her dream job is both IT and non-IT sectors. And despite the initial familiarity, she has embraced the change and now consider it is the best decision of her life. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just talked a little bit about your accolades and all that. So, now coming to this, Captain Gaurav, please tell us about your little background from the time you know you had hung your boots, and from the time since July 2015, as I recall it correctly, you had been persevering with your maybe sometimes under tenacious circumstances to basically meet the objective. So would you please tell our viewers something about yourself, the challenges what you might have faced, and thereafter how you basically got yourself promoted with your hard work and everything?
Sure, Captain Puneet. First of all, thank you for having all three of us in your show. It's a honor and a privilege to be with you, talking to you. And just I'll give you a little bit of perspective. I started my sailing journey in '97 when I got selected as a cadet in SCI, and I went on ships. I sailed for a total of 13 years, about 2 years in command. And so after 13 years, I left sailing. But the bigger question which I had in mind, and many of my colleagues, my friends had, is what next? Um, it may become difficult for persons to keep on sailing till the age of 60, or I mean, because of various reasons, they may want to transition ashore. Normally, the first thing which comes to a person's mind is marine superintendent. That is primarily because many people don't understand that there are other fields where they could go and they could excel. So I shifted ashore when I was probably less than 30, but I had these questions which were coming through. I was working ashore for 4 years. I was a technical director in a company called British Maritime Technology. And the learning curve was high. The learning curve became a little stagnant, and that's when I thought, let me just try and help our community. So as a give back to my community, I opened a website called Sea and Beyond. The What I did through this website was I identified 30 odd fields where a person could go, a mariner could go. So it was not just marine or technical superintendent, it could have been purchase, it could have been voyage optimization, it could have been maritime law, it could have been logistics, it could have been business development, it could have been charter, it could have been a lot of things that they could do. I got very senior persons on our platform who would mentor them, right? And they would mentor because they would, I mean, out of passion. So I identified this field. I had 33 fields, 60 experts who would guide persons into the area of their interest, and it was basis their personality where they could go, right? Then there used to be one-to-one calls. So that's what I did for 1 year. Once I started doing this, companies started to approach me saying that, all right, you have persons who are willing to transition. We need persons in our jobs, in shore jobs, and we feel that you would be able to provide them. So it started one thing at a time, and right now we are partnered to more than 120 companies. All the top shipping companies in India are our clients, not only shipping, but agency companies, commercial shipping, freight forwarding, ports. Adani is our client. So all of these companies now started to take mariners initially from us, but right now anything, from a receptionist to a CEO, it could be a purchase person, it could be a finance guy, it could be a third officer, a TME, an IT data scientist, a system analyst, anything and everything which caters to the broader maritime industry, we serve them in our recruitment vertical. Once we started to place candidates, then the candidates start to ask, and companies also started to ask, um, how can we upskill? That's the question from the candidates. From the companies was that how can we regularly increase the learning and development part in our company. So that's when we ventured out to various colleges outside India and started to develop programs for this. So right now we are partnered to 30 odd colleges, all of them in Europe or in Canada, which have maritime courses. So we market their courses and we have candidates going to these particular colleges. So right now, I mean, just I started off very small, solving a small problem, which was actually a very big problem of transition of persons from sea to shore. Right now, I have a team of 19 persons. 16 of them are females. I have three verticals: mentoring, education, and recruitment, wherein we are able to serve industry in the best way that we can.
Fantastic. Bravo, Captain Gaurav. Certainly seems like you have, got rid of the seclusion because if you talk about sea career, one of the little poetry, what I recall, the call of sea is a wild call in which all the sailors fall. However, saying that, there has been a lot of seclusion because of isolation, because the kind of life what we have, served or lived out at sea, coming from that, work spec or that walk of life into this, where you have been basically, not only pioneered, but you have gone all the guns blazing into all different fields, exploring, be it as what you said, receptionist or purchasing department or procurement, whatever the case may be. Not only sticking to the mariners, but at the same time, you have been motivating a mariner, maybe kind of a junior officer, as what you mentioned, third mate, second mate, or third engineer, whatsoever the case may be, depending upon that what he or she is capable of, and then you have tried to excel the thing out by bringing the best out of him or her of that candidate, and instilling the confidence into him or her to basically that yes, he or she can do. Because what we know that of course, there had been time where we had been always motivated to, when you're on the deck side or the engine side, to go to the highest rank, and then you can, walk off on the highest note. But today, with the youngsters and with so many repercussions which are happening in the maritime industries, it has never been, though, a bed of roses at any point in time. But now, certainly, I would say it has become bed of thorns. So great job, Captain Gaurav. Definitely, I definitely am very pleased to hear all these things, that what all things you have been doing and what all you have basically achieved. Now, one thing I certainly am very inquisitive and bit skeptical to ask you, that what all are the mantras? Suppose you get one of the engineer or the deck officer who perhaps is like, for maybe some family reasons or maybe some XYZ reasons, wants to, swap over or shift or, change his career orientation. What are the mantras? How do you basically carry out the assessment, evaluation, and motivation of that particular candidate?
Right. No, of course, I'll start this, and I'll probably request Shruti and Ria also to chip in, because both of them help me in the evaluation a lot. So essentially, um, I the this in merchant navy, I believe, and in this transition from sea to shore, We are the only industry where a person's salary goes down by one third and the persons are still interested for that job, right? So you of course can't get your salaries when you're working ashore. So the first and foremost thing which we have to ask a candidate is, why are you planning to shift ashore, right? And if the question, if the answer is only and only family life, if the answer is only and only that I want to just try out things, they have not thought it, right? But if the question, if the answer is, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to understand what is happening ashore, I want to contribute to the industry, I want to I'm sure that I'll go at a certain level in some years down the line, but I am ready to become a cadet. I may be a master, I may be a chief engineer, but our assessments are, most companies, and we assess not on competence but on attitude and aptitude, right? Those are extremely important. It will take you long to come to the salaries that you were sailing, but you will come, right? Are you ready to be in the grind? Are you ready to push yourself? Are you ready to contribute? Are you ready to learn? That's what we are essentially assessing. Maybe Shruti, you can add a couple of more things, and Ria, of course.
Yes, so
Yeah.
Shruti, Ria, please fill me in with where Captain Gaurav has left.
Yeah, sure. As just Captain Rana said, see, there are a lot of mariners, like junior engineers or junior officers, who really would like to quit sailing, but are not really sure whether they would like to get into which division, or they are, really would like to get into the shore job for a long term, or might be for a year or two. So our main, forte is to understand whether the person is looking out for, what exactly the reason of the person to quit sailing, whether it is because of some medical issues, whether it is related to some family problems, or might be for future prospects, or maybe at a point of time, their mariners, left sailing after age of 40s and 50s, and at that point of time it will get difficult for them to get into shore jobs, because sometimes because of the age and some other factors as well. So what we do, we definitely understand what is the exactly reason of persons to switch, why they are, wants to, what kind of job role they are looking at, what kind of divisions they wants to get into, whether it's, commercials, it is related to QHSE, or it might be some other divisions as well. So we understand their prospects, we give them kind of, you know a kind of little training or mentoring to them, so that they can, decide whether they are really interested and okay to get into shore job at this point of time or not, and it will be easier to persons to, get into this.
So, allow me to ask you, Shruti, and Ria, you can also, chip in whenever you find you are comfortable. Though I will be coming to you also. Don't worry about it. My the question which I have, which has just come to my mind, is that you are probably Captain Gaurav must have got you, the little of maybe the initial familiarization of the kind of life what a mariner, sustains when he's sailing.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm? Okay,
Yes,
so when you carry out all these assessments, or perhaps if I say brainstorming, what are things you look at? Like how would you, encourage the candidate, maybe any rank from the marine industry point of view? How do you carry out the assessment that yes, he or she may fit in into this role because you're from corporate sector, or let's say the person like me who has been sailing for the last 44, 45 years. I may not know, any ABC of this particular corporate sector. But of course, with the media, lots of things you get to know. But let's say I'm completely a layman. So what are the elements or what are the ingredients what you actually, use them collectively to not only for motivation, but for assessment, selection, and then for his qualification?
okay. See, there are a few divisions and the companies who usually focus on, junior engineers and officers, I would say. I'll start with the engineers and officers only, and then maybe Ria will pick it up for some more senior ranks. So there are some positions like into quality and safety and into commercials like chartering, broking, where junior engineers and junior officers will be preferred, and this will be a ideal job for them to get into. And what we do, we give them insight of the job prospects they can easily get into. For example, if someone would like to get into commercials, they'll start and as an executive, and we'll give them a mentoring that you will start as a executive, then you can get into broking, you can easily get into chartering later on. It will be a growth prospects for them to get into this similar division in India, and they have a lot of options outside India as well. So we pick it up like there are certain positions which is actually suitable for engineers and junior officers. We actually focused them only to get into this, and we can easily cater them for the long term.
Now,
Just 1 second, sir. Also,
yes,
to
please.
for example, Shruti had written a beautiful blog on commercial shipping, on
Okay.
how a person or mariner at a junior level could enter into it. So she
Mhm.
also gives those links, and so they get a view. So because when you speak, they might lose a few things, and then they can go back to that blog and they can refer to it. Sorry.
Okay. No, no, please go. That's good. Thank you, Captain Gaurav. Shruti, point noted. Rhea, I believe you have been there for about a decade into the industry with Captain Gaurav, or maybe you have worked with other principals as well. So, what's your take on it? Where Shruti left us with her communication?
So as I mentioned, like you mentioned me before, I used to hire for onboarding the crew on board the vessel, and I know what they used to face. Like they were used to away from the family, no networks, and all those issues were there. Families used to connect us to get connect through them. All those things were happening, and now it is like getting those candidate a sure job to some better in better companies or a better roles and responsibility. Uh, Normally, when I pitch to the candidates, what I feel is like we normally say them that you will be getting into a show when it will be like an office job only. You will be spending more time with your families. Yes, of course, there will be, as Captain Gaurav Rana mentioned, that there is a huge difference in their salaries will be there. But yes, you will have a time to spend with your family, which were missing for few years or half, whatever it is. And again, Shruti mentions there are some companies or many companies where it comes age criterias. So it is good to step in early. Then there will be an criterias which will be like about age and all this will be not able to get into shore. Many companies are there, they are only looking for a master mariner who have sailed 3 4 contracts and then getting into a shows, that type of. So I normally prefer I and pitch the candidate in that manner only. To get a show early will be a good prospect for them for any roles whatever they are interested, but getting into a show at an early stage is much more better things.
Now, conversely speaking, Shruti and Rhea, when you came into this industry from the Mariner, where Captain Gaurav is there, Captain Gaurav Rana is at the helm, what actually attracted you to work, in tandem with Captain Gaurav?
So I will tell you, like, it was very challenging for me basically because I was working for a ship management company's ownership company.
No,
Like,
that is prior to, that's what I'm saying. Prior to coming into any kind of affiliation as far as the shipping industry is concerned, what actually attracted you? What actually motivated you to go to a shipping company, agency, or ownership, whatever the case may
here I would be there on a other part of thing. Like before, it was sea. Now it is land, where I will be hiring a candidates, mariners for a land job. Before it was specific to hire a candidate only for this types of vessel, this type of vessels, and now it is like hiring a candidates mariners for various type of roles. Like I was not aware about what is marine superintendent, what is technical superintendent, what is QHSC, and now I am aware about all those roles and responsibilities. I am able to pitch the candidate what is actually marine superintendent or a QHSC role. This is the difference, and I think I got to learn more on that side also. Before it was only manning, recruiting, and now it is something different.
So is it right to say that, when you talk about a person who's coming from a very good, gracious, a reputed MBA or a very good college, be it IIM or whatever that is, and he's venturing into the corporate sector, that is case number one. Case number two, there's another gentleman who's coming from the marine background. He also is seeking for to make a break into a shore job. And if you have to mentor either one of them, whom would you take?
If you're getting bored, you can always see a recording of this listening.
Am I being lost or hello? Hello, yes, Captain Gaurav. Shruti, you're there with me, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Captain
yes, yes,
Gaurav's
yes.
signal,
Yeah, correct, correct.
it's
I am
a
there.
problem. Okay, Shruti, did you understand my question?
Yeah, let me just complete what you have asked, like what attracted me when I was about to join CN Beyond. So for me, it was totally different because I was from a very different sector and I started my career in human resources. But when I joined, I understood like I am helping those persons who are who are away from their families since more than 6 months, sometimes 8 months or maybe 4 months as well. But for me to be with sea and beyond and with marine industry, it was every day is a new thing for me to understand and to learn. And in marine industry, every day you will learn something new. There are a lot of divisions are there, a lot of profiles, there are matlab, a lot of ranks are there. Firstly, I understand what
My
kind
my
of rank.
question my question to you, my apology, sorry for
Yeah.
interjecting. My question to you and Rhea was that if you have one candidate who has come all the way, who's a sure lover, maybe graduated his degree or diploma or kind of a qualification from IIM or some other reputed institute, and on the
Mhm.
other hand, contrary to that, you have another mariner who has been trying to explore his opportunities, and he has come to you. Whom would you think would be easier to handle or mentor or convince? What do you think?
Both of them have their own aspects. It's actually, I would not say that it's we are spectacle or so, but it's easy for all of us to understand if it is a fresh graduate or maybe an MBA holder, and if it is a mariner, say what at whatever rank. It's definitely it is easier for both all of us to understand their requirements, in which division they would like to get into it, and where we can settle them.
Let
Okay,
me one
Hanji,
second.
please go ahead.
I,
Please go ahead,
I
Captain
saw
Gaurav.
it from a bird's eye view. I'll pitch in. Honestly, it was difficult for almost everyone to pitch in a mariner or to place a mariner as opposed to a MBA graduate. Uh, for MBA, they know what they want to do, where they want to go. They have a little bit of clarity. Mariners, maybe the clarity may not be there initially. But so what has happened over a period of time, and they've been doing this for a few years, is after certain time, the right set of questions which is to be asked to a particular person, now they have realized that what is to be asked. The assessment is totally different. But now, because they are able to assess and ask the right side of questions, I think it will probably feel that it's more or less the same. But initially, I know both of them faced some challenges.
Yes, yes, I will add. It is true. It is always a challenging. Again, I will mention onboarding a crew on board vessel is easier, but getting a candidate for a show job and explaining them what will be their role and getting them ashore from ship to ashore is much difficult than a normal MBA or a graduate candidate to pitch them normally. I also feel that.
What I perhaps can understand reading between the lines, correct me if I'm wrong, that is, if a person who is, graduated from the institute and is trying to seek an opportunity, it will be because his vision will be absolutely clear. Whereas when a mariner comes to you, his vision also has to be streamlined. Maybe hazy. There are, of course, a lot of smart guys who would know their thing well in advance. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that the seclusion makes lots of things go hunky dory many a times. Now, coming to you, especially to the ladies, now let me ask you because we are also working on the Nari Shakti. Any one of you can take a podium. What were the challenges faced by you as far as any disparity? Coming to the maritime fraternity, or in your case, Ria, you said you had been working with ownership ship management companies. Did you face any kind of disparity, or did you find that ladies at the helm doing some managerial job, and maybe there's a shippy, maybe a junior rank guy who, because now most of the shipping companies do hire some of the junior ranks, second mate, third mate, made the people who want to quit sea coming to what you have been doing so far. So, do you feel any kind of, did you feel any kind of resistance, challenges, opposition, or any disparity?
No, I don't think so. When I was working with a management company over there, also we were, I think, almost 50 to 60 girls working over there. And now in
Hmm.
CN Beyond also, we are, as Captain Gaurav Rana mentioned, we are almost 18 or more only girls we are working here, and I don't think so it is any challenging or something. We are like on a daily basis we are talking to our mariners before also and now also. I don't think so there is any I think it will be like more what male or female, there is no difference. I don't think so there is any challenging facing as of now. I don't think so.
So, what's your take on, by the way, Shruti, would you like to add on something?
Yeah, see, initially there were the ratio of females working into maritime industry was a little less, but now in couple of years it has been increased, and even in ship as well there are more than 25,000 women are working, so sailing at different ranks, and here in shore jobs as well. In the especially in maritime industry, there are a lot of females which are working in multiple divisions. And even here, Ria just mentioned that with CN Beyond, our ratio is majorly for females. We do appreciate that, and we are quite happy to work with an organization where females will be supported more. But yes, there's no kind of any issues which we faced or any partiality or something. But yes, in maritime sector there are more females now, and there are a lot of marine companies as well who usually prefer females rather than males for some positions specifically.
So I must commend Captain Gaurav, and of course you all, associating with him, a feather in his cap, because what I can see or read between the lines for what all you all have just laid on to me, is that the women empowerment he has been working, relentlessly, and he has, basically made a mark, Captain Gaurav. That's really a feather in your cap, and congrats on that. It's a very good thing what you had been entrepreneuring and endeavoring, and with your endurance, I definitely think you certainly will make a mark. Now, coming to the point, perhaps one of my last questions, however, you like to pitch in something, you are more than welcome, is that, what has been the major contribution from your point of view, Captain Gaurav, be it to the maritime fraternity or to the women empowerment? Of course, one of the examples which is live, what we have seen here. But what else? And thereafter, what are your visions, and where would you want to go from here in onwards?
Sure. Thanks for asking that question. And so my vision when I started the company, in single sentence, it's a very powerful statement, was helping maritime professionals take a well-informed decision, right? That's one sentence vision which I had, and all of the work which I'm doing now and which will I continue to do will be around this. So we started to help maritime professionals transition ashore, and it was not just transitioning ashore. We had persons who said that we may need money. I think ashore life will not be able to support us financially, and we said that okay, go back sail. The idea was that not to push anyone to do a certain kind of thing. The idea was to help them assess their strengths and then maybe go back sailing or maybe transition to the best field that they can. So my number one and the paramount achievement which I feel personally for the company is to help professionals understand as per their strength where they could go and helping them in supporting and reaching that point. So that's I think is the biggest strength. We in probably the last few years would have helped maybe more than 1,500 or 2,000 professionals achieve this goal, in mentoring, in jobs also. Second of my achievement would be in education. So we've had a lot of webinars wherein we call industry experts who tell them about a particular position, a particular profile, a particular industry or a function where they can go, and then they mentor them. So and then what we started to do in we got into education. So there was this mentoring wherein they would say that if you want to become a CEO, you want to do XYZ thing. Then we identified those courses where a person could do, and we partnered with about 30 or 30 plus universities outside Europe, and these are very big universities. And it wasn't easy for us to partner. And in few of the universities, they were not accepting a master mariner FG because we are not graduates, right? They were not accepting that. We actually fought in a couple of universities and told them that look, we have a person who has so many years of experience, he has cleared master mariner license, why are you not accepting it? Then I'm very proud to say that in a couple of universities they accepted that and they got a couple of masters into their course, and those persons are doing exceedingly well. So I think that's my second biggest achievement. Third now is we are building a Udemy or an aggregation of courses for mariners, and I hope this will also get the same kind of support as I've got in the other two initiatives. So that's on what we have done till now, right? My future plans, there are two essentially. Number one is almost all shipping companies within India we are partnered. We are partnered to 120 companies. So we've got India covered. Now I really want to increase our presence geographically, enhance our presence geographically. So I would like to get into Europe. I would like to get into Dubai. I would like to get into Singapore, Far East. We've got partnered to a company in Canada now. So that's the area where I would like to increase. That is geographically. Second is the problems which we face, mariners while we are sailing. It's essentially the same kind of issues which persons in the defense fraternity face. They are at some point of time also, become a kuएं का मेंढक, if I call them that, they are aware about what
Frog in
their
a well.
Yes, absolutely. And so maybe if the same model we can replicate in defense, maybe aviation, maybe hospitality, wherein we become one-stop solution for most needs and or maybe all needs of persons within that community. I think I will probably achieve my vision of when I started C and beyond.
Good, Captain Gaurav. Now I have one last question, and that is perhaps we would ask you just for my viewers or for the motivation. Since last almost now say seven odd years, 7 or 8 years now, 8 plus years, you have been carrying out with this your venture of Sea and Beyond. Can you tell us something about any of the major hurdles what you have? which had created an obstacle for you, and thereafter you came back with the resilience, bouncing back, and then you basically, came out with your flying colors. Anything you'd like to narrate or tell us, which certainly would be a help for our viewers as well.
Absolutely. I think a few things. When I started this, no one would have heard of transitioning from sea to shore. Everyone thought that we are another company which is probably gonna send persons on the vessel sailing. So just to get persons to understand what we are doing, how we are doing, why we are doing was essentially a challenge. And I can tell you for first 1 year, I did not have any revenue. My revenue was mostly from mentoring, from doing free webinars, from guiding persons. So when I started it, we didn't get any revenue, but we stayed resilient. And after a year, Deepika, my colleague, had joined in, and she got in Shruti. So Shruti was resilient. Shruti helped us to kind of face that, come over that initial period. Once we started doing that, right now, once we started to make our name, then we had bigger companies, and these companies have all the database of the mariners, right? And so imagine, for example, a big company like Fleet, right? They have all the masters, all the data of master's chief engineer. When we approach them that we can provide you a person for your shore job, they would have told, they would say that we have the data. How can you provide us? Then give us a chance. And right now, I mean, maybe we are giving about 30 to 40 odd persons for shore jobs to Fleet, right? Even though they have all the data within themselves. But what we have with us is that the most relevant, these persons come because they are in trouble, these persons come because they need guidance, these persons come because they want to transition, and we are able to support them, support the company, and create a win 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 business model for all the three entities involved.
So basically, when you do, like you just mentioned about a company named Fleet, you had been, giving, or they have outsourced you or hired your services to get them the qualified, superintendents, marine technical, whatever the case may be. So then what are the yardsticks by virtue of which you carry out your assessment? Because you see, if it is data, then one would have been easier doing data analysis, right? But when you
Correct.
talk about the factuality point of view,
Correct.
interviewing and then talking about the crux of the matter, then I would say, how do you do that, or how do you proceed?
I think that's how we started, and a very good question at the start of the interview as well. Our key thing is, why are you looking for a shore job? That's the key question. If a person has got the intentions right, we get the right kind of answers. If the person has not got if he's not able to express himself, right, while his intentions are correct, we help him in expressing himself. um, it's not about the immediate thing. Many of persons come to us saying that in 5 years, in 3 years, we want to do X, Y, Z. So we help them in achieving their goals after 3 to 5 years. So it's all about understanding what a person wants, telling him that what is the field which is probably more relevant to them, guiding on how he can get into that particular field, helping him to probably say get a better CV, helping him to know what the crack the interview, helping him to sustain once he is there. That's essentially what all we do, and that's how we are able to sustain persons or recruit persons in many bigger companies as well.
Allow me to ask you, given a chance that you have candidate, what are the first key elements you look for? Is it the attitude or the aptitude?
Attitude. Attitude.
Any particular any particular reason?
Um, See, at a certain time when you are at sea, aptitude becomes a given, right? that if you have become, say, a chief officer, that management skill at a certain level would be there, right? If you become a master, that certain level of coordination, certain level of communication skills would be there. But not everyone would have the attitude which may be required to excel. Persons in shipping who are sailing, they like to live in white or black, right? Ashore, it's not white or black. It's not yes or no. It is the persons who can live in the gray, uh, who have that attitude of being a little uncertain about a thing, but still be confident and ensuring that they proceed and succeed. They are the ones who are probably more successful.
Would it be right to say attitude, aptitude, and adaptable?
Absolutely, absolutely. Rightly said.
Right? Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. It has certainly been really a learning curve for us, and certainly I think our viewers will learn quite a few things. And then, if any doubt, they definitely will be contacting you. Let's see, because by and large, you all have been doing a great job as a teamwork in a very cohesive manner, and also facilitating the mariners to find their path, coming out from a seclusion to a diversion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to be there at the show. Thank you. Good day. Bye bye. Stay
Thanks for
safe.
having us
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.